Hello and welcome back to another Q&A. I had a lot of fun doing this last time and I want to keep doing these. I want these to be like a consistent thing. I've still got some questions saved from the last time I did one of these videos, so this is kind of going to be like a combination of those questions and then some new ones as well. If you want to sort of take part in the Q&A, make sure you follow me on Instagram because I normally just put it on my Instagram story. And don't feel like you have to ask anything specific, like if you want life advice or you've got a situation that like, just literally anything at all. I want these Q&As to just be a bit of fun. So the first question we're starting with is from Ashley141 and they say, what is your favourite book that you've ever read or heard of? Now, I've been really trying to get into reading a lot more over the past sort of 6 to 12 months. It is something that I struggle to find the time for, but when I do find the time for it, I absolutely love it. And I genuinely want it to be like one of my biggest sort of passions and things, because I feel like the worlds that you can dive into in books are so special. They're so more in depth, and some of the stories that I've read are so much better than films or TV shows that I've watched. And so you just have this whole different world and array of stories, and there's just so many. Like whatever thing that you want to read, you can read, and I've found that I've dabbled in a few genres. I've done sort of like real life, just sort of like, I don't know how you call it, but like life sim stories, or I've tried some murder mysteries and things like that, some crime ones, and I don't really feel like I connect to it that much. I absolutely love and adore fantasy and like sci-fi fantasy. They are my absolute two favourites. If you have any recommendations for that sort of genre, please let me know, because I really want to read more. But I do have to say my absolute favourite that I've read so far, and I'm not going to act like I've read loads and loads of books, but it has to be anything from the Stormlight Archive by Brandon Sanderson. So I think Way of Kings would have to be my favourite, just purely because it's the first one in the series. It kicks it off. It was my first introduction to his writing and him and all these characters. You could argue and say that the second book, Words of Radiance, is probably a better book. You get more action. It's crazy, but I think Way of Kings, for what it is and what it starts, is probably my favourite book that I've read. I did recently read Red Rising as well, and that was phenomenal. So I highly recommend checking that out as well if you haven't read that. And I'm currently reading The Poppy Wars, or The Poppy War. It's not The Poppy Wars, it's just The Poppy War. But yeah, I definitely really want to just start reading more and more consistently, and I feel like my brain feels better for it when I do read. Like, if that makes sense, you're sort of taking yourself out of everything and just sitting down and focusing. So yeah, thank you very much for your question, Ashley. On to the next one we have from Eden the Worst, and they say, how do you manage your mental health while still making so much content? PS, love you, big man. Firstly, thank you very much, I love you too. And it's a tricky one. I'm not even gonna front. It is a tricky one. There is a lot that goes into content creation. I feel like, in terms of mental health, one of the biggest struggles is analytics and numbers, because you are constantly being fed these. You're constantly being shown where you're at, what's doing good, what's doing bad. YouTube literally have a system called the 10 out of 10 system, where every single video you post gets put against the last 10 videos that you've posted and ranked on a scale of 1 to 10. So if you posted a video and within a day it had 10,000 views, that would be your 1 of 10. If you posted a video, the next video, and in a day it got 1,000 views, it would be a 10 out of 10. It would be a stinker. And so it's kind of hard mentally to like constantly open the app up and see these numbers being like, you've not performed as well as you used to. And it feels like you're constantly in a battle with yourself and constantly comparing yourself. And comparison is one of the worst possible things you can do for your mental health, in my opinion, in whatever facet is that a word? Facet of life. Comparison is always horrible. So the easiest, there's not really a solution to this. If you want to do content, it's kind of something that you've just got to grow to deal with. One thing that I've done, and this was something that I like chose to do, I think, last year. I needed to upgrade my phone anyway, so when I bought a new phone, I still kept my old phone, and basically on my new phone I just don't have any social media. Like, I don't have Instagram, I don't have YouTube, I don't have TikTok, I don't have any of it, because I found that, you know, I take my phone with me if I was going on a walk, or if I was going out for the day with my family, or I'm on holiday. And, you know, if you have those moments of quiet where you're waiting for something, or you're in the car or whatever, and you check your phone, I would find that I was checking my analytics, and then my day would be ruined because I can see that a video's not doing as well. And so having a second phone whereby I can't check those means that I'm only checking those when I need to, or if I want to. Like, it's not just a sort of automated response thing to just check it all the time. Because I did check it all the time, I'll be entirely honest. And it was not good. Aside from that, just making sure that, you know, content doesn't take over my life. Like, I feel like a lot of people feel like you need to sort of be obsessive and grind 24/7, and to really make it, you need to just sacrifice everything. But in my opinion, that's not a fun life to lead, and content should always just be a hobby. I think it's moved over the past few years very much to a business thing, where everyone just knows now that you can get big, get rich, and everyone's just trying to get to that point. I just think the most enjoyable way to look at content is it's just look at it as a hobby and something that you enjoy doing. Okay, TTGM2339 asked, if you had infinite budget, what would be your dream merch item to make? That's a really hard question, to be honest, because I feel like the Lego head was like a dream merch. I guess it wouldn't necessarily require an infinite budget, but even like maybe like an official Lego set or a Funko Pop, that would be so cool. That would be like actually insane. So if it was something along those lines, maybe, but infinite budget to make something, I don't know. I'm not like salesy in terms of like that. Like, I don't want to make like Prime or something. Like, I don't care for stuff like that. I only want to make stuff if it makes sense. So yeah, I don't know. Ultra Rosa S asks, how long does it take to edit a video? This very much depends on the video. If there's like a lot of edits involved, if it's very heavy on the subtitles, or it really depends on the type of game. But I feel like a lot of people don't actually appreciate or understand how long videos do take to edit. Minimum for a video is probably 10 to 20 hours, like bare minimum. That is like a stripped back video, because you've got to watch through the hours of content, you've got to cut it all down, then you've got to do the edits like subtitles and little like bits, and then you've got to animate those, and then you've got to add the extras like intros, outros, music, sound effects, censor swear words. There's a lot, and people don't like. I've recently took it upon myself and a bit of a challenge to try and go to weekly uploads. So I'm going to try and do a main channel video weekly, and that isn't just me editing. That's me doing a video, my editor doing a video, and we're alternating once a week. So we have 2 weeks each, and that's going to be tough. And I had a message from someone going, yeah, but that's still not enough. We need like daily videos, and I'm like, brother, I don't think you realise how long videos take to edit. People really don't appreciate it. It is just a full-time job in itself, and it really just, yeah, people need to give it the respect that I think it deserves. JCM3101 asks, hi Isaac, what's your advice for someone struggling to balance work, college, social, family life? It can be hard, to be honest, especially if you're in college and you've got a job. That can be really difficult, because it was something that I never took upon myself, because I always wanted to sort of just, I wasn't like desperate for money, so I just never got a job. But like, I know people who, you know, in the week you'd have 3 or 4 days of college or uni or whatever that might be, and then at the weekends you'd go and do a part-time thing, and it's like, when do you actually get days off or just a time for yourself? People don't really consider that. And as I know that the situations differ very much. In my opinion, I don't think it's a good thing to have a part-time job while you're at college or uni. I think you should be focusing on your studies and also living a life. Like, you're going to be working for the rest of your life. don't just optionally choose to. And don't get me wrong, I know that there's like circumstances. You might be living in a flat and you need the money, or you want to drive and have a car and stuff like that and you need the money. So yes, if you need to, then do. But if it's just to have like extra income, honestly, just prioritize school for while you're there, because you don't want your studies and stuff to suffer from that. And also just your life, like I say, you're only young once, so then you've got more time for social and family stuff. And the other thing I would also recommend, which is also a hard thing to do if you've got a job, but is just scheduling stuff in. Like, I always found it really hard to meet up with friends or consistently. I always find it like a thing where you and friends say like, oh, we need to do this more, we need to see each other more, and then 6 months goes by and you're just like, oh, where does the time go? But if you actually book stuff in, like in advance, then I'm talking like a month or 2 months in advance, you will just stick to it and you will just do it. Me and Zigzag and Nathan have been doing a thing where like once a month we try and schedule in a time to see each other, and it's been really nice, and I've genuinely loved it. So just try and schedule stuff in, and yeah, but also just don't push yourself too hard. Like, you have got to live your life, and yeah, I don't know. Sorry, that was really bad advice, I feel like, but hopefully that answered a little bit of your question. Killed_the dog asked, how do you accept getting aging? I assume you mean sort of how do you accept aging, how do you accept growing up? And it is a tough one. I feel like, especially these days, nostalgia is very much pumped into us constantly, on social media, in films, in games, in whatever that might be. Nostalgia sells very well, so they use it a lot. But I would definitely say that, you know, you've kind of got to accept it, because you can't fight against it. You can make it easier on yourself, you know. Getting older, yeah, you get the stresses of money problems, or work stress, or family stress, or whatever that might be. But I also think you've got to spend time still doing the things you love, still doing things that you enjoyed doing when you were younger, you know? Don't just give up gaming because you're getting older and you feel like it's less socially acceptable. Still read, still watch films, and just be a kid, be a nerd out, or just do stuff that you love and enjoy. I think that really helps the aging process, like just having fun and not sort of letting that childish side go, because you don't need to grow up, you don't need to act a certain age. Sure, yeah, you need to in certain social situations, but for the most part, just have a laugh, don't take life too seriously, and aging will never really be a big deal. At least it's never felt like a huge deal for me. Sure, it's a little bit scary when you start to deep it and you think about how old you get in and how far into your life you get in, and how many years are going by and how quick it's all going. Yeah, it does get scary, and sometimes I think about that. But for the most part, if you just have fun and just do whatever you want to do, I think then it becomes a little bit easier to accept. So yeah, there's another Q&A. Sorry, I think I've only answered like 4 or 5 questions. I've got a bunch more, so make sure that you subscribe to this channel, because I will do another one of these videos. And like I said, I will keep asking on my Instagram, so if you want to check that out and make sure you're looking at the stories for the next time I'm asking, or if you have any questions right now and you want to just get it off your chest, ask them in the comments below. But yeah, I'll see you next time.